Thanks, Pam. And on previous occasions when we've come together, we've had as many as 150 to 300 people here at any given time, right, Pam?
Yeah.
So I think what we're seeing today is a situation where everyone's a little bit reserved in the sense that they think we've won. They think just because the last election occurred and the polls are going in the direction that 2012 will be a good year for fiscal responsibility, they think we've won. But I think it's important that we bring back a message to our neighbors and our friends who agree with us, and there are a lot of them, about why this is a fight that needs to continue, because it very much is a fight for the life and death of this country. And I guess we can really start with what the overall problem is. And one of the overall problem is we've bred a culture of entitlement. Okay? Where does the American tax dollar go? When we pay that dollar, where does it go? When they run out of dollars, where does the money that we borrow from China go? Okay, it goes towards our social welfare programs here in the United States. It goes towards bailouts. It goes towards the poor and the wealthy. And the one thing that they all can agree on is they feel entitled to it. Okay? Now, having said that, it also goes offshore. It goes to the Palestinians who are against our allies in Israel. It goes towards the rebel fighters in Libya who have avowed ties to Al-Qaeda. I'm not saying we should support a dictator like Muammar Gaddafi, but let them duke it out. Why would we get involved? Our enemies can fight our enemies, and that's a good thing for us. So why should we spend the American tax dollar there? As a matter of fact, it goes even a little bit further, and we basically assist and aid nearly every military ally and every country in the third world. There's charity being given out all across the world. And it's about time that we sent a message, and our government sent a message, that all of this has to stop. We have to start concentrating back on the United States. We're giving benefits for schooling and for health programs to illegal immigrants. Our elderly are saying, you're trying to take away our Medicare benefits. You're trying to take away our Medicaid benefits. No, that money is being given away by the left to people who are not American citizens and who do not pay American tax dollars. So we have, in a sense, a crisis of the institution that has become too big and has bred a culture of entitlement, when what we should do is breed a culture of accountability.
Amen.
Accountability for ourselves and our families. We have to provide for ourselves and our families. But also accountability of our government for its population, its citizenry, not the world. If we could afford that, God bless. But isn't that the same trouble that ancient Greece and Rome got into? They got to a point where they were so big, they were out in the entire world trying to solve the problems. And while they did, Rome burned. And we can't allow that to happen to our great democracy. As we all know, and it's been said at previous Tea Party rallies, Ben Franklin was asked when he left the Constitutional Convention by an older woman on the streets, "What have you gotten us, Mr. Franklin?" And he said, "A republic, so long as you can keep it." And that is our challenge for our future generations, to hold ourselves accountable and to keep it. And that's why it's very important that this Congress must pass a balanced budget. We may need to pull back. We may need to hold the world accountable for their own actions. But I'm reminded of an argument that Franklin Roosevelt made in 1939 in order to pass H.R. 1776, the Lend-Lease Act. He said, if our neighbor's house is on fire, shouldn't we give them a hose so that they could put out their house? And it was justification for U.S. involvement in World War II prior to a declaration of war. But we've taken that to the point where now, if our neighbor's husband and wife get into a fight, we go and break it up. Will they get into a fight again knowing that we're going to break it up? Maybe not. But if we provide counseling to the husband and wife, if we provide children daycare, if we provide their food on the dinner table, then all of a sudden when they're in need of this stuff again, won't they call out again and say there's a fight so that we come in? And that's exactly what's going on in the world. Everyone knows that the United States of America will get involved and will bail them out. And that's unacceptable because it is done on our backs. And we can't allow that to happen. So the world must be held accountable for their own actions. And they must lay in the bed that they make. We've got to end our American tax-funded worldwide social welfare program. It's just got to end. I'm not an isolationist by any means. But at the end of the day, we have to take care of our own. And when we take care of our own, we can reach out to the world in a just and fair manner. Now, our detractors are going to say that what we're doing is we're taking the money away from the elderly, the poor, and the less fortunate. Those are the same people that give that tax money to those illegal immigrants for their benefits. And the Palestinians and Al-Qaeda in Libya. So maybe the argument is not that we're trying to take away money from the elderly, the poor, and the Medicaid. They've already done that. And that's what should be refocused. Our people need to know if the money was there because we paid it, and now it's not, where did it go? These are the things that they need to know, and our politicians who have made these decisions have to be held accountable for it. We do have a heart. We do have compassion. They painted the Tea Party movement as not having compassion. If you watch MSNBC, I shudder every time I do.
Are you one of the three?
Exactly. I just want to see what they're saying. They compared Obama the other day, having Reagan-esque qualities. I thought to myself, boy, what a dream world. But having said that, we do have heart. We do have compassion. We cannot give this argument up. We have to show that we do want to take care of our elderly. We do. We do want to take care of the less fortunate in this country. We do. But how does America typically solve its problems as we have since the day this country was founded? It is solved through American ingenuity and innovation. And it's through that American ingenuity and innovation that we encourage empowerment of individuals and competitiveness. I'll give you a couple of examples. We all know now it's tax season in the school districts, and every school district is looking at major cuts and major tax increases. Well, I think that the conversation ought to go towards empowering in the schools the decision makers who should be empowered when it comes to those children, their parents. Empowering those parents. All due respect towards anyone in the union, because unions serve a valuable role. But the empowerment, the power of educating those children should not lie in the hands of a union. It shouldn't lie in the hands of administration. It should lie in the hands of parents. Valley Central Schools, Pine Bush Schools, last year in the Times-Herald Record reported a 75% graduation rate. Not going on to college, but a graduation rate. That means that if I sent my 4 children to Pine Bush Schools, one of them wouldn't graduate. I find that unacceptable for my family, and I find that unconscionable as a community. And I dare say it wouldn't happen if parents were empowered. Okay, if you go into a school right now, you hand over your children and they educate them. There's no choice. Well, school choice ought to be on the table. There should be no sacred cows in this. Vouchers ought to be on the table. Take all the school districts in Orange County and let parents decide where to send their children. Now, all of a sudden, if school districts aren't cutting it, they're not going to get the kids. And they're ultimately going to close. And the school districts that do survive and that do succeed, programs like the STAR program in Pine Bush that we were talking about earlier, those are the programs that will survive, and those are the programs that will flourish, and those are the programs that will create a new generation of Americans that are ingenious and innovative the way our culture was always meant to be.